Hello, I'm Luke Hatfield. I'm joined by Wolves correspondent here at the Express and Star, Mr. Tim Spears. Tim, how are you today?
Good, a little bit tired after a late night, but yeah, another 3 points, so it's happy days.
Yeah, and it wasn't exactly the free-flowing attacking football that we've seen from Wolves, but they still got the job done, didn't they?
Yeah, for the second successive away game, actually, they were poor at Reading a few, well not poor, but they weren't at their best at Reading a few weeks ago. They really had to grind that one out. With a 2-0 win, I thought Reading were good value for a point, and Steve Cotterill certainly thought Blues were good value for a point last night. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but if he had a better team, then I think they probably would have claimed a point from Wolves, because Wolves weren't at their best, certainly in that second half. They kind of allowed Blues to regain the initiative, really, when the game could potentially have been out of sight at half time. Blues come out, different team in the second half, changed it around a bit, brought Stephen Gleeson on in midfield, started to get some control of the game, and all of a sudden Wolves looked really ordinary. And like I said, if Blues had a decent team, then they would have certainly threatened Wolves more than they did. I mean, John Ruddy hasn't had a single save to make. I think that's the first time that's happened this season.
Yeah,
which just shows you that the defensive steel that Wolves have got these days, and this has kind of come from day one, really. As soon as Nuno came in, signed a host of defensive players. I think of the 7 permanent signings they made in the summer, 2 were keepers, I think 4 were defenders, and then the other one is Ruben Neves, who's a defensive midfielder, or can be. So it just shows you, that they've built from the back from day one, and that they defend from the front. I mean, to be fair, that all 11 players are defensive and offensive. That's what makes Wolves such an exciting team, and such an exciting prospect as well going forward, because really everybody in that team defends from the front. We've seen it with Jota, who was getting kicked to kingdom come last night, but he does the dirty work as well. Even Cavalera's getting stuck in this season, but then when they flip it around, they're all offensive as well, from Ruddy onwards, because Ruddy's distribution now, got an assist last week. His distribution's setting Wolves going on the counter. You've got Cody, who's an offensive player when he's bringing the ball out from the back, even Bolly, and of course the wing backs who can do both as well. So they can do everything. But the defensive still, certainly their record's very good. They've had to grind out some wins this season. Millwall and Barnsley at home were another 2, but they've already conceded 2 and 6 goals. And I think the defensive record is more important than how good they are going forward.
Yeah, I mean, one man who didn't feature, of course, was suspended Ruben Neves. Did they miss him?
Yeah, they did. They didn't keep the ball as well. Unjai, I thought he had an indifferent game. He could have, it was a big chance for him last night. Sace and Neves have got it nailed down in midfield. Unjai, he's been itching for a chance. He said it a couple of times to us earlier in the season. He's not too happy about his game time. Of course, he's not. So a great chance for him to impress. I don't think he really imposed himself on the midfield as much as he could have. He gave the ball away a bit too often. Could have got sent off as well. He was grabbing, I can't remember, it was grabbing somebody by the throat. A bit of a flashpoint in the second half. So basically, he didn't say to Nuno, keep me in the team for Sunderland at home next week. So they did miss Neves. They brought Price on at the end for a bit more control in midfield, which helped in the last kind of 10 minutes. But yeah, Neves certainly will be straight back in the team for Sunderland at home.
Yeah, and it was always going to be a heated game. But one man who did keep his cool, to be fair to him, was Nuno, and he did manage the game quite well, I thought, from the sideline, considering.
Yeah, well, I mean, we may find out this afternoon whether he's going to face a touchline ban or a fine from the last home game against Bolton, when he's picked up this FA charge. He was sent to the stands. So, I mean, it's no coincidence he was sort of on his best behaviour last night. It's quite interesting. He came to the press conference after the game. We're expecting him to have a few words about the referee. That first half tackle from Mark Roberts from behind on Jota, it's a red card. I've seen it a few times now. It's a red card all day long, right? But Nuno said a yellow was a fair decision, right? And I couldn't stop grinning, to be honest, in the press conference, because if he hadn't have had this charge and all this kerfuffle last week, he'd have been slating the ref last night. But no, he's got to be on his best behaviour. We'll see what happens with that today with his FA charge.
Yeah, so it was a tough game for Nuno and Wolves. Remember, they came through it yet again. For all the latest on Wolves, make sure you stick with expressandstar.com.